Welcome to the First 40. This is the Goon Squad. You got Black Thor over there, you got Ice Water over there, and you got your guy Puma here. We're going to be talking sports for the next hour or so. And we're going to start off with the NFL, the eye test with the NFL. And I'm going to go with Brother Raccoon, Black Thor first. What teams, games, or players stood out for you, man?
I'm going to tell you, the Buffalo Bills, bro. Buffalo Bills, I was not impressed with this quarterback realistically until I watched him on Sunday, man. And this cat can ball, bro. When he brought him back in that last drive, he makes some boom plays from time to time. He's still kind of young, a little wet behind the ears, but overall, man, he has a command of that offense. They believe in him. Diggs fit right in. Their defense played good 3 quarters, and they kind of slacked off a little bit, but the Buffalo Bills, man, are a team to be reckoned with. Not saying they're ready to win the Super Bowl, but they got something going on. They got a quarterback. I didn't think last year he was worth the draft pick that they used to get him, but if you watch that drive, the way he came down, there was a couple of plays. I think it was a play. One play was like 3rd and 23. Zoomed it. He got out of the pocket. There's a couple of times that he got out of the pocket and not ran too much, just moved just a little bit and got set up again and kind of launched it accurate. And I was impressed. The Rams kind of surprised me, man. I don't know if their defense got tired, what happened. But I picked the Rams to win, but it seems to me that their defense, if it's not Donald doing it, they don't have much, bro. If he's not getting pressure, they have nothing else going on. Even though the Cowboys wasn't victorious in beating Seattle, if they can find a way to eliminate some of the bonehead things they do early in the game, they can win some of these games, bro. It's just for some reason they put themselves behind the 8 ball, then they got to fight. And they came up short on Sunday. There's no way, man. There's no way Arthur Blank should not just come in and just kind of dismantle the Atlanta Falcons. There's no way, man. I as an owner, you got to be sitting back saying what's going on. You have to be sitting back saying what's going on because this team finds a way to lose games new every weekend. Every time they step on the field, they get out, but they can find a way to lose the game. And you're sitting back going like, what's going on? I remember we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when everyone was talking about starting Trubisky, whatever. And I said then they got to have something to go to. And that's why they kind of basically started him. Well, you saw in the 3rd quarter why they started Trubisky because they was waiting for Foles to come out there. And I'm telling you, they're like a totally different team offensively. Yeah. They just do. I'm amazed that he didn't want to say it last night that he's going to start Foles. Everybody knew by 4th quarter, Trubisky's job was done in Chicago. Foles could stay healthy, he'd never see the field again in Chicago.
Yeah. Ice, what games or players or teams just stood out for you this week?
Well, I'm going to start with that Buffalo. Allen, man, he's a gamer, but he give you a heart attack. Oh, my God. I'm sitting there watching it, and he drops back to pass. They're on that last drive, and he just start getting pressured, and he throws a lateral to the running back behind him, like he's throwing a regular pass, and the guy he was able to scoot it out of bounds. I was like, man, what the hell are you doing? He give you a heart attack. But, he gets it done, but it could be so much easier, and that's part of growth. I guess like watching Joe Burrow play the first couple games, he scares you to death, but he does some good things too. But I guess it was one of those weeks that we're going to see, one of the 3 weeks that we're going to see out of Fitzmagic with the Dolphins win over Jags. That dude, man, every once in a while.
How the hell that happened? I came home. I wasn't watching that game. How the hell that happened?
Hey, I'm telling you, he had about 3 games the whole year. And then you get all excited about him, and then he let you back down. So that was number 1. We got 2 more to go somewhere down the line. So that's what he did. Also, you mentioned about Dallas. Like you said, mistakes. But my thing is this. Dak Prescott threw the ball 57 times for 472 yards. 57 times. And they had 61 yards rushing. 61 yards rushing.
Yep.
And granted, I know he's trying to do his best, but y'all still losing. And I know Seattle's defense is cool, but are they that damn good? You get 61 yards out of the whole backfield? 61 yards. I was surprised by that. And last but not least, I had to roll with they have one every 3 years and one every 2 years. Detroit Lions, man. They got them in Arizona. 3 interceptions. They were like balling. I was like, look at Detroit. It wasn't nothing spectacular. It was ugly, but they found a way. And the defense, if nothing else, rose to the occasion. The offense kind of sputtered at times. But, man, they should at least, that should have been their second victory because they sure should have won the first one. They should have beat the Bears. But,
Well,
you know.
before I get to Detroit, and they win games they have no business winning. I mean, no business winning. That's been their track record. But I wanted to go back to the Dallas-Seattle game last night and ask you a question about this because Zeke Elliott had like 14 carries and only 34 yards and 1 touchdown. Is it because the defense is keying up on Zeke Elliott or Dallas is not going to him enough to give him, because running backs need that groove. Some of them get stronger as the game goes on. Is it they're just abandoning the running game? Because quite honestly, it looked like the Dallas team from yesteryear, and I mean with the old coach, where they abandoned the run, they start slinging the ball down the field. It didn't look different last night. And then we're looking at it and they lose. Also, Dallas is playing up to their competition. So if it's a good team, they play up to that. If it's a bad team, they play down to that. So what is it? Are they not giving Zeke Elliott the ball enough, or are they just abandoning the run because, teams are just keying up on Zeke Elliott?
I think it is they might be abandoning the run because you need to have a balance. And like I said, he threw almost 60 passes, and he missed on 20 of the attempts.
Yeah,
he missed. 20. He was like 30. He 37 to 57. Okay, that's 20 other opportunities. So my point is this: granted, he had 457 pass, 472, but they had to mean something. All the completions got to mean something. If you're going to abandon the run, it has to mean something. The other thing too is, what about some damn screens of Ezekiel Elliott? I think they need to go back to a balance. I think it was the same thing as that you mentioned about last year, looking the same. You so caught up on him trying to get his money that you leaving Zeke out. Zeke is a damn weapon.
Yeah.
You got all these wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb is the truth. Okay. He may not be a all pro, but he can catch the freaking ball. All of these weapons, and you just leaving all that out there. I think either he's trying too hard, the offensive scheme is bad where they're going away from it. The balance is great. I mean, if you get hot and you kill them like Russell Wilson was yesterday, then you stay with that. But you got to prove to us first that opportunity or that your plan of passing that many times is working. And it really wasn't.
Yeah. But I have a question for you about the Atlanta-Chicago game. You sent me a meme today. It says, defund the Falcons. And I sent it to a buddy of mine who is from Florida. And he's like, I'm sending it to all my friends in Georgia who are Falcons fans. But you kind of knew that this was going to happen. I didn't know it would happen this soon. But, Dallas is a better team than Chicago at this particular point. They got more weapons, all this other stuff. But when you have a team like Atlanta who just seemed to play like 45 minutes of a game, then they just stopped playing. They just stopped playing. And it looked just like the Super Bowl where the play calling got really tight. You have Matt Ryan who couldn't, catch anybody or put the ball on anybody in late third quarter, in the fourth quarter. They started running the ball, trying to run the clock out. And the defense decided, you know what? We're done. We're done for the day. We're just not playing. So my question is it due to they're not in shape, the coaching, or they just aren't as talented as we think they are?
I think the talent is there. I think they're drastically uncoached, bro. Drastically. I mean, you have to look no further than a week ago that onside kick play, bro. That's just a lack of coaching. And I heard some people say, which is true, we all know we got to jump on the wall, but you have to coach them up still. You're paid to coach them up. I think during their practices, even I heard the Jets complain about this about a week ago. And when the players can say this, they say it to Falcons, but I think the Falcons wanted the same thing. When your practices and your players are saying your practices are too light, they're not strong enough, not hard, you're going to play that way, bro. Because there's something, it should be a gear inside of you when you're getting your butt kicked that you go to. You just go to. Yeah. And the Falcons just don't have that. Whatever reason, when they getting their butts kicked or starting to get their butts kicked, They're like, okay, kick us some more. They just like, oh, we're gonna roll over and give you more to kick, and that sometimes comes from the top and it comes down. I mean, I don't care if you have to basically tip over chairs or whatever. You got to find a way to bring the fight out in them. And whatever the coach is doing, he's not doing it because they should be tired as a team losing games like this. They should be tired. They should really be fighting. But as you see, when they get into it, there is no fight. There is no, and it's almost to the point like they expect to lose. They don't care if they lose. They're used to it. And here again, that comes from the coaching. I'll say this real quick. Even though they lost yesterday, and I know Mike Zimmer said he was tired of it, and I joked about it when you and I was doing the picks, like what that's going to mean. But they came out and played with more spirit even Vikings yesterday, than they did the most 2 previous weeks. I have yet to see Falcons just come out this season or anything for the past couple of years and have that energy, that spirit. Sometimes you have Julio Jones just running down the field like he's outside running at a track meet with his buddies. You don't see that excitement, that energy, like, like as Ice was saying about that dog, they don't have it in them as a team, as a coaching, as a franchise. So everyone basically knows if you can hang in there with them a little while, they're going to give you the game. There's nowhere in the world you should have lost to Tom Brady that way. There's no way they should have lost yesterday to the Bears. There's no way you should have lost to the Cowboys. We're seeing it time and time again.
Yep. I'm going to turn it over to you with the Atlanta Falcons and Chicago Bears. I think that the Bears are going to be trying to shop Trubisky. I don't know if Trubisky's ever going to throw a pass again and in the Chicago Bear uniform. It's been rumored here that the coach didn't really want Trubisky, and he was giving him a lot of time to develop. Now they know that he is not the guy they drafted. I don't know what they were thinking about when they drafted him, but now they're going to Foles, and I think it's a good move. I thought he should have started, but Black did make a great point earlier this season. If you started Foles and then you had to take him out, you're going back to Trubisky, and he doesn't show up, then you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I think it's noble because you win and you spend that draft pick on Trubisky to bring him in, and so you got to show that there's some you don't give him a chance, and they did give him a chance, and then you got to a point where your team is desperate to try to win a football game, and you bring in Foles to see what he could do. Can't do any worse. So he struggled a little bit early on, and he started getting a rhythm, and the team responded to him. So if that's what it takes for you to win, even if you go week by week to decide who's going to be your starter. I mean, I think Foles is the guy now, but they might, who knows what they're doing because they stuck with Trubisky for so long. But whatever you have to do, you have momentum, okay? You have not had that. You didn't have that early on, so you have momentum, and you need to try to keep it. So I think it's Cohen out for the year.
Yeah, he's out for the year.
Yeah. So now that's another loss. So now you got to go back and go get somebody else, or I'll pick somebody up or run something through. So you're already behind the line. You're all missing one of your top performers. So now what are you going to do? And you're going to need a guy like Foles to step up and do something. So whatever they need to do, they need to keep that momentum going. And Atlanta, man, I mean, that's just ridiculous. You got all that stuff and everybody's talking about them. But again, they find ways just to kind of lay down. You're sitting there going like, yeah, you got this. Just even if they would have just held the ball, right? Don't even make a play. Don't even, because a lot of it was end up being turnovers, but just hold the ball and slowly but surely move on and go from there. But yeah, it is time for a change because you got Matt Ryan, you got all these guys, you got with the receiver Gage that came out, nobody knew what the hell what he was, and now he's riding to the occasion. So you got more than enough weapons, but you just keep laying down. So they probably won't make a change. They probably should, but it'd be interesting to see what happens down there. Something needs to happen in Atlanta.
Black, you called this a couple of weeks ago, man. They made the switch. I was really shocked that they made the switch at this particular point, but we were looking at it. We were saying, hey, Trubisky's not the guy. Now they just announced that, Foles is a starter. I remember texting you during the game that when Foles first got in, the receivers act like they couldn't catch the ball because they weren't used to the ball being right on them. They were dropping it. I dropped touchdowns, stuff like that. They weren't used to a quarterback just placing the ball right where it needs to be. And then they finally kind of caught steam and started winning the game.
Yeah, I noticed that. You're right. It's that then for the past 2 years, man, they had to turn around, catch the ball, drop down, whatever the case may be, to bring it in. So it's going to take a little adjustment, but they adjust fast. Because they start making some good catches. They came back. I want to address something you said, the ice earlier about the Cowboys, man. And it's interesting. If you think about the head coach, the Dallas Cowboys now, remember when he was with Green Bay? They have no running game at all. It was just Aaron Rodgers airing it out. Bang, 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 bang. Look at Green Bay now. Even last night watching them, their running game is so much different.
Yeah.
They're running plays. And then I think, like Ice was saying, they need to do screens. You have to find a way. Zeke is one of the top-notch running backs in the NFL. But the problem with the Cowboys is they keep running the same running plays over and over again. Back in the day, I remember John Madden saying, run it until they stop you. But guess what? They're stopping you. So now that they're stopping you, you got to do something different with Zeke. You got to come off, pitch him the ball, do something different because they done seen that week 1. They done seen it week 2. They're prepared for it. But what the Cowboys do is every time Zeke is not busting a hole and doing this, we got to start doing this. They don't go back into the factory and say, you know what, we're going to show them something different. You have to find ways to make them open, get them open, put them on the edge, do whatever you got to do, pitch the ball, do a screen, put them out, have them come back and get the ball, anything. But they line up every week, okay, we're going to do this. If you stop us, okay, we got that. Funny thing about that is his numbers look good, but do they start converting to wins? It doesn't matter. His numbers look good because he's always playing from behind. That's the problem. So his numbers always going to look good. But you got to start. Those numbers have to come into complete and come into wins, and they don't. They really don't. And they look like they're headed again for an 8-8 season. They're going to be right there because when they play good teams, they just don't beat them. They'll beat the Falcons every week. I think they got Miami or Cleveland coming up. Oh, yeah, they'll win that game. They'll win it. They'll win that game easily. But the good teams, they just can't beat.
If it wasn't for the Atlanta debacle, Dallas would be 0-3 right now.
Absolutely.
They would be 0-3, and
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure Andy Dalton will be starting quarterback if they were 0-3 at this particular time. The game you talked about with Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, both of them had over 280 yards in passing. Both of them had 3 touchdowns. But the rushing yards with Jones, he had 69. Kamara had 58. And then what really bit New Orleans is the turnover. Turnovers bit them. And Brees is not having a great season. I know he was up for Sunday night's game, but he's not having a great season. But I'm liking Green Bay. I'm liking the Packers. They got a receiver named Lazard, who is, just running all over the field. Nobody saw him coming. I didn't even know who he was until last night. But let's go to NBA basketball. There are a lot of stories that we need to talk about. I ain't doing it no more, but I just will mention that Black is putting down his put your rag on, man.
You talk about LeBron, baby. I gotta do this.
Yeah, LeBron is. I congratulate LeBron and the Lakers for winning the NBA championship. But now it's the Lakers and Heat. Ice, I'm gonna have you preview. I'm gonna let Black stew in this for a little bit while because he wanted Miami to play the LA Lakers. Now he got his wish. Preview this series, man.
Yeah, well, like I tried to tell y'all earlier, I said the Lakers I told you might as well get ready. So you had time to prepare. So it wasn't like it was a shock. So, you can say what you want to about Denver, but I told you to get ready. But it's the matchup. I know some people, a couple of friends talked about, they wanted the nostalgia matchup, Boston versus LA. Nah, Boston wasn't ready. And no disrespect to Kemba Walker, but it was his first time really on that stage. And I think with a little bit more, they might be okay. But nah, I wanted Miami to win because I wanted Miami to play the Lakers. I think they'll give them the best shot. Lakers are the Lakers. They're deep right now. Got a 3-headed monster at center. You got McGee, you got Howard, and then Anthony Davis can play that, which is at the 5 at times, which is what they did against Denver. Rondo is playing out of his mind. You got Caldwell Pope balling, and LeBron, when he get mad, he does his thing. You got so many different pieces. And granted, something nobody's talking about either is the way that Vogel is kind of moving them pieces around. Granted, he may not be your greatest coach, whatever, people may not like him, but he's making things happen. And maybe that might be based on what LeBron is telling him or whatever, but you got to get a coaching staff a little love on that. So they made it through Denver, very feisty club, but now they face the Heat. And I'm gonna tell you this: I don't know. I mean, on paper, you would say it should be LeBron. Anthony Davis should walk through the Heat, but the Heat, they had that DAWG in them, that dog. And when the main dog is Jimmy Butler. I've been trying to tell y'all this. Y'all did not want to listen. Y'all been dogging Jimmy Butler forever. Talking about he ain't the number one. Don't matter if he number one. All I know is right now, he got those guys playing. You got guys like Hero is playing like a hero coming off of it. You got Bam, the big fella, playing nasty. They play defense. They getting after it. The other thing I really love about it is they added some major veterans like Crowder. Crowder's a beast. Crowder's
Look at the boy's face. Look at the boy's face when you describe Miami. Look at
Crowder has been. He's been a strong, tough veteran. They get after it and they coming for you. And then you got Iguodala. Really don't have to do much. He's just another guy that can bring that championship caliber in there. I like him. I'm not sure if they're gonna win it, but I like him because they're going to compete. And they got enough people that they're not afraid and they're gonna come at you and they're gonna play hard. So I don't know if the Lakers are gonna come through and run through them, but they're gonna have to play, they're gonna have to earn it. Because I'm telling you, I just want to see Bam, as somebody mentioned, Bam versus Anthony Davis. But I want to see Rondo versus Jimmy Butler. Because Jimmy Butler don't care about nobody, bro. LeBron, whoever, he don't care about nobody. Because he like, every time y'all been talking about me, y'all said I was a cancer in Chicago. I said, no problem, I'm still getting my money. I'm a cancer in Minnesota. No problem, I'm just getting my money. Go to Philadelphia. You are one shot away. A Kawhi miss, and you probably in the finals. One shot away. But everybody tripping, and he had to go from there. And I guarantee you, as I get off of this real quick, I tell you right now, Embiid is still crying, talking about, I'm sorry, Jimmy. My bad. You was right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jimmy, because I might need to come down there and see you. I'm sorry. Jimmy's like, I told y'all, now y'all can have the regular season, but playoff time, let me do what I do. And he don't care. They talking about his haircut, talking about everything. Who gives a damn what his hair look like? I don't. Is he balling? His hair could be beat up. Is he win that championship? Then he can get his hair cut. People kill me with that. There's a lot of haters, man. Over simple things. Who cares what his hair look like? Nobody cares. Look at LeBron. He finally came to the truth with his hair. And he just let it go. He won. I'm just saying, who cares?
Yeah, he letting it go. Oh.
You're in a bubble, baby. Okay, you got patches, all right? Yeah. You got this ball.
Yeah. Well, Black, one of the things I'm noticing about Anthony Davis is that usually when he gets nicked up in the game, it was his excuse to go kind of lay down and go to the bench and sit out a couple of games. But he's been getting nicked up in these series, and I don't know if it's LeBron or his teammates saying, you just got to toughen up and you just got to play and do what you got to do. What's your take on and preview of the next series, bro?
I can't add much to what Ice just said, but I'm going to tell you something right now, bro. He ain't been nicked up the way he's going to get nicked up in the series. I'm going to tell you. The Heat going to nick him up. Trust me. I won't be surprised. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to happen. But this is the type of series right now. Pat Riley would come down to coach himself. like Eric said over there. This is made for the Miami Heat. If you thought he was taking elbows and getting nicked up before, watch game one, bro. I mean, they're going to test his will on so many occasions. I think it's a good series for both teams. I'm going to take the Heat. I'm picking the Heat, not just because of LeBron. I just think they're going to wear the Lakers down. I think the Lakers role players have to play a significant role. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. LeBron's going to try to do too much. I'm not counting Anthony Davis past game one. I'm just not. I think they're going to find a way. What they were saying against Denver, when you got one big cat hitting you, that's a different story. But isolated out, you got some veterans there that's just going to be up in him at all time. He's not used to that smoke, bro. He's not used to it, which is going to force LeBron to do more. Miami just pummels you and pummels you and pummels you with defense and roughs you up to by the fourth quarter. You don't want to play no more. And you can see some of the Lakers going to be ready to kind of punk out. I hate to say it like that, but it's going to come down to it, man. Miami doesn't mind playing ugly, they don't mind grinding. They ain't about running up and down the court and trying to be flash. Denver didn't have the bench that Miami had to come off and do some damage. They didn't have the center. As good as your Joker is, he's not as physical what Anthony Davis is going to face and plays the Heat. It's just going to be totally different, bro. They ain't facing nothing like this. This is a cat that comes on Fox in the morning, Chris Wright, And he's a LeBron. I mean, I think sometimes he buys LeBron's jock straps, used jock straps, because he loves LeBron, but he talks about it all the time. Yeah. This is the hardest time LeBron had to. It's not the hardest time trip he had to make it to the finals. Are you kidding me? He went to a team with no center, the Houston Rockets. He went to a team that really had no bench. What are you talking about? But trust me, after this series, you're going to see LeBron really kind of earn it. And you can't tell me that the Heat organization is not waiting for this one, bro. I know I spoke to Pat Riley. They want this one bad, bro. Bad. So toss it up. Let's get it started because I can't wait to see it, bro. LeBron wins this. You know what? I'll clap my hand. But I got a funny feeling it's not going to be the case because you have to earn this one. You got to bring along Tito, Marlon, and Randy for this one. Are they going to show up? I'm just not sure, man. I'm just not sure. Michael may not get it done by himself.
Well, here's one thing I will say, because I've seen it over the past few series. I hope the referees don't get in the way of this. I really do, because I've seen some horrific officiating, and it's going towards one team. And that's why I keep giving that team kudos of winning the COVID Invitational Tournament, because you can just see it. You can just see it. This it's not the NBA season. It's the COVID bubble tournament. That's what I'm calling it. Other news: the Bulls hire Billy Donovan. Let's go to Black first on this, man. Good hire, bad hire. What's your opinion?
Good hire. I mean, realistically, good hire. Like the man said one time, playoffs. Good hire. Good hire. Really? I mean, you name me a reason why I should hire him. I just want to know. I mean, I had this discussion with my son earlier. He's a Bulls fan. I'm like, why would you? What is he came in and doubts you? Okay, I'm a good X and O guy. I don't see it. I know how to coach the youth. I don't see it. I'm good at holding the clipboard. I see it. I see it. I don't understand what Chicago to me keeps bringing in these mild-mannered non-coaches and letting them loose, bro. And they got themselves another one. Seriously. I mean, he's a name. But you ask me, what has he done? He had two of the most talented players in the NBA, and he didn't coach them up. You think he coached up Westbrook? You think he coached up Durant? Realistically, no. When Durant went to Golden State, he was coached up. Even when Westbrook went to Houston, he was coached up. So I'm sorry, man. As an NBA coach, this hold a clipboard that came from Florida, you only got the job with OKC because your friend was a general manager and wanted to bring you to the NBA. I think it's a passive move as an organization to hire him, and I think it's going to be a passive move that they see that's not going to work out. So was it a good hire? Absolutely not.
Okay. I'm thinking about it and thinking about the past year. Nobody expected OKC to be in the playoffs, let alone a few games short of making it in the Western Conference through the playoffs. But I thought it was his best coaching job. I get with KD and Westbrook. Those two guys, to me, aren't coachable. They're just not coachable. What's that? Chris Paul.
Was there, bro.
I mean, and Chris Paul, he had to do something to get that team together because they're not the most talented team. But they played hard under this dude. And I think he was in the running for Coach of the Year, if I'm not mistaken, Ice.
Yeah, I mean, but it depends on what you like, man. I mean, so if you don't hire him, then you can go back and get the Van Gundy's. Really? I ain't feeling that. I would take my chances with Donovan than I would Van Gundy's, because all they want to do is talk about who ain't doing this, who ain't that, and y'all know from the Knicks lore, all they do really good for me is making sure somebody don't go on the court. I'm not even gonna get into all that by holding their legs anyway. But the whole point of it is, I mean, you think about OKC, you think about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a hell of a talent and gonna be a nice guy. Maybe it's they hired him because they really don't have any superstars right now, and he can start kind of like from scratch, and they got young talent, and maybe it's closer to like college. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Maybe it's closer to like college. A lot of these guys are not. You don't have you don't have a Rondo on there. You don't have a Dwayne Wade. You have a lot of young talent on that team, and maybe he's in the process of developing. I don't know. Maybe it's a stopgap. Maybe it's a guy who's just in there temporarily. But then again, you say you could have kept Jim Boylan. That's a damn nightmare. That would have been a nightmare. So what do? I mean, you say Ty Lue. Ty Lue was not – they weren't ready for that right away. You don't know Ty Lue would have been an answer to because he's used to coaching talent. We know what Ty Lue has done when he has not had any talent. When LeBron left, we know that. I mean, I like Ty Lue. Don't get me wrong. But you got to say What can you do? So if it's a stopgap, give them a chance. They could have done a lot worse. Could have brought one of the Van Gundy's in. You could have brought in D'Antoni, because of the factor that he is. His way he plays, his philosophy is totally different. So I don't say that's the best hire for them, but I'm looking for name me another person that was better. I mean, you could go Nate McMillan. I don't know. Here's my thing. When I look at Chicago, and I told you this real quick, Puma. I told you this before. I played with them on 2K, and I was like, oh my God, they're so talented. But the question is, who's going to coach them? Please give me some names of who is logical and who can coach that team besides Donovan.
Yeah, well, I said this earlier, and I'll go back to you, Black, because I know you're chomping at the bits of this. I said this earlier last year that either the coach or Levine had to go because one of them couldn't stay. And the Bulls chose, okay, we got to get rid of this coach because Levine is their emerging superstar on that team that needs to be. When you're a player and you're questioning the coach calling timeouts and calling certain plays, and everybody else is questioning it, they couldn't stick with that coach for one more year. And I don't know, maybe this is a fit for them. Maybe it's like you said, a stopgap for them. And maybe he can have some influence over these younger players to make them better and pull out some of that potential and pull out some of that talent. Black?
I just say this, and that's why I say it's a passive hire, because to me, if you told me that the other coach they hired should never be hired in the first place, I don't even want to talk about him. I mean, what the player was saying was correct. But you have assistant coaches sitting on the bench for Popovich. Did you even bring any of them and talk to him? Seriously, did you bring any of them in? You got Wes Unseld Jr. out. Did you bring him in and talk to him? Damn the Van Gundy's. I never want to see them coach again. Why go with a name? Bring some people in. Do your homework. Maybe, just maybe in the process, you find a coach that can lead these young men. But no, you run and grab him. If he was doing so much and coach of the year, why did OKC let him go? You think about that for a second. He was on the verge of winning coach of the year, as you say, of the COVID year. OKC said, we've seen enough of you. We've seen enough. Time for you to go. But that means nothing to Chicago. The general managers and the owners are just lazy when it comes down to finding a head coach. Take your time. You wasn't in the playoffs. What was the rush to bring him in for? Oh, the draft is next week? I'm sorry, man. I don't know. But that's what I'm trying to say. How about spend some time talking? You got 3 assistant coaches down there in San Antonio, probably primed to be a head coach. They've been on the pot for years. You don't even talk to them. Forget about it. Why talk to them? Yeah, I know. How about Eric Spoelstra? You got people on the side of him. No, don't talk to them. Don't wait till the season is over. You had to get Billy down because everybody was just dying to sign him. That's why I said it's a passive hire. It won't be for long. These same players that then fall into the other coach, you say the same thing about him. He doesn't know what to call timeout. He knows what to do. Here again, he's a good clipboard holder. You can't beat him for that. Good clipboard holder. That's just my point, bro.
All right. Speaking of, you can't wait. And Doc Rivers let go today. We talked a little bit about it in our behind the scenes segment. But the 2 teams that are coming after him and already contacted him, Ice, is New Orleans and Philly. Go.
I thought you was gonna say something so I could sit back and laugh and get another drink. I thought you was gonna say the Knicks. Anyway,
no.
They got a coach. That's what you got to cover.
They got a coach. Air quotes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said New Orleans and Philly. Either way is rough. Philadelphia, you got to come up with a scheme. I'm like Elton Brand, okay? They trying to bring somebody to take over a position above you, right? Which means they don't trust you in making decisions, okay? So you got to get this right. So they said, well, we're going to give you one more time. But the question is, you have 2 quality young players over there. The question is, what are you going to do? You either going to, I think you got to cut bait. You're going to have to get one of them. One of them got to go. My thing is, and people don't want to hear it, I know they want to, but you're going to have to decide, is it going to be Embiid's team or is it going to be Boy's team? I don't think they're going to play together. They can play together. They talking about they rumbling, they don't get along, whatever. Cut bait. If it was up to me, I probably would keep Embiid because he the bigger guy. You can build around him. I mean, people say Simmons. Here's my problem with Simmons. Simmons need to get a damn jump shot. That's not going to change. He's going to be the same player forever, ever, unless he get a damn jump shot. And they want him to run the point. The other part of it, too, is I always see this. They let him run the point. Put him on the wing, bruh. You need a point guard to get him in position where he can score on the open floor, open court. That's what he does. You need to get somebody to let him just flow and run. Catch, run, dunk, boom. Because he don't have his shot. He's not going to get it. He don't want to. He doesn't want to. So the Philadelphia thing is a mess. Doc Rivers go over there, put some Band-Aids on it. They had to make some major changes to get a core group of individuals where you can take them seriously. Right now, you can't take them seriously. But New Orleans, young players, going to make some more moves. He might be able to do a little something with them because at least there, unlike Gentry, and I ain't mad at Gentry, but unlike Gentry, Doc has a little bit more of a clue. You're not going to be 7 foot pulling threes, acting like you had the NBA All-Star competition. That don't work. And the other thing too, perhaps Doc can get everybody's favorite golden child, Zion Williams, to lose some weight and start to play a certain kind of game. This is not Duke. Even he said it. He's like, well, I want the coaches to tell me how they want me to play. The man is asking you for guidance. And that's what we do. We get enamored with these guys. Oh, he can run, jump, and dunk. He's 6'8", he doing stuff. He running point. He ain't running no damn point guard. Can we be real? Just because you dribble the ball all down in front and run everybody over like bowling, but bowling pins, that's not running the point. They need to get some structure and put this together. And maybe Doc Rivers could help them. If not, maybe a Ty Lue. Somebody like a Ty Lue could go down there. But they said Ty Lue was also a candidate for Philadelphia. So I don't understand that with Philadelphia too, because Philadelphia's looking at Ty Lue and supposedly D'Antoni. You do D'Antoni, you might as well just blow the whole damn thing up because that little running and little dudes running and jumping, it just he's a nice guy, but that ain't gonna work. And you trying to get James Harden over there too? If you thought they was mad at Jimmy Butler, you get James Harden over there, ain't nobody gonna see the ball.
Well, Black, I would say that I would take Simmons, put him at power forward, get the ball out of his hands. He likes to score inside, put him at power forward. And B got to go. He ain't got no dog in him, man. He ain't got no dog in him. Process is over. Trust the process is over. He ain't showing me no dog in him. None whatsoever. With Gentry in New Orleans, I don't know how that's going to work. If you get D'Antoni in there, Zion going to be playing with his friends in the Knicks in a few years, if that's going to happen, because that's what these NBA players, Black, like to do. They like to go play with their friends eventually. I think that will happen because D'Antoni doesn't have a clue on how to coach. Ty Lue is used to winning, being in championships. I don't know if he's used to trying to build a team from the ground and getting there. And Doc Rivers, he had 2 talented teams in LA and couldn't bust a grape. So we need to just get away from all these guys who had jobs last year, move them out the way. Let's get some new, fresh blood. Let's get the lady from San Antonio to coach one of these teams. Please, because I'm tired of seeing it's like these coaches go to these teams and they look the same as with the last team they left when they were coaching. I don't want to see – bring a fresh crew and other coaches. We need some new blood. We need some new blood. But that Philly situation, I agree. They need to split up the team. I'd put Simmons. Simmons got more dog than Embiid, in my opinion. Send Embiid wherever he wants to go because I don't know if he's played a whole season yet. He ain't got no heart, and he definitely ain't got no dog in him. And last year when he was sitting there crying on TV after losing, you ain't play hard enough to win that game. What you crying for? Black, take it.
Now, you know what? Ain't off on Puma Rants. Damn when you do, you damn it, you do it good, bro. I'm gonna tell you something. I've never seen a time. I don't know I've been following sports for years. You can get fired for underachieving, and teams are fighting to hire you. I mean, Doc Rivers, he got fired for underachieving the team that probably went to the finals, and they ready to hire him. Did they see him coaching against the Dallas Mavericks? Maybe there's a blackout in New Orleans and a blackout, and they couldn't see the game. I'm like, I'm going to say this. This may sound outlandish. I think Doc Rivers is overrated. He's definitely overrated as general manager, and I think he's overrated as head coach. We just all assume because he lucked up with 3 players and won 1 championship, we all just roll him off as being this great head coach. I've yet to see it, people. I haven't seen it. And so I don't know what they're thinking when they think about hiring him this quickly. Here again, who have you talked to? Who have you interviewed? You just sat around, like you said, waiting for these recycled names. The cat, Lou, whatever, with the Lakers was like, who says he can coach a team without LeBron? And I love Tyronn, don't get me wrong, but he's not the answer. Go find some young blood. There's got to be some young coaches, even in college, assistant coaches that can come in with something more innovative and excite these young cats. They're tired of looking at these old 40-year-old dudes that have been playing basketball 30 years ago, don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry, man. Bring some new blood, and I can't understand it. I mean, the ink ain't got dry on the pink slip on him, and they're ready to talk to him for what? I mean, what reason would New Orleans, you got young talent down there ready to blossom. What has Doc showed he could do with young talent? Name me the team he took with young talent that did anything decent with. I'll wait. Just name it to me. And you ready to bring him into Orleans, all that young talent, and do what? Like you said, the young lady with San Antonio. You know what? Why not hire her? Wait, how about this? How about bringing her in and talk to her? How about sneaking her in and just talk to her? Just see what she has to offer.
Sneaking her in.
Her, bring her in, have her put a hood over it if you got to. Whatever you got to do, bro. I mean, seriously, why not? What's it going to hurt you? Oh, no, Doc Rivers has got 5. Let's see. In the past 3 years, he's lost 8 out of, so many games in the finals? He can't get it done. He can't win a 7th game. That's our head coach. We can't wait to have a press conference. What the F is going on with these people? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't black, we wouldn't be pushing the way we do, bro. Because there's not that many black head coaches. He's overrated. He has not done a good job. He's not one person that should be bouncing from one job and going to another one. I don't understand it. But yet, I wouldn't take the Philly job. You over there to be more or less, because that team is a mess. I think they both need to go, be honest with you. They both need to go. Simmons can't shoot. If you took Edward off the floor and left him on the floor by himself, you'd have a jump shot. He couldn't make a jump shot, bro. So I'm sorry. And Embiid, come on. Embiid need to get in shape first more than anything else. Forget about playing back. Get in shape, bro. Come into camp one time in shape. I have yet to ever come in shape one time. Come in shape. And he won't do it. Seriously. So I wouldn't take him either, but I can't imagine the New Orleans Pelicans, even the name itself is stupid. So it would surprise me that you think about hiring Doc Rivers. Are you kidding me? Doc Rivers.
Wow. Any other NBA news, Ice?
Just trying to see what's going to happen with the free agents, because I think that's going to kind of see certain things. Like, for instance, there was a lot of rumors about if Embiid was a free agent or somewhere he wanted to go, he wanted to make a move, of course, and everybody want to go to Miami. Why is that? Jimmy Butler got a little something down. Now everybody going, you know what? Jimmy, they'll have me. I like to be down there with you next year. Now everybody want to join Jimmy Butler. I know he at home or drinking, making a little light, whatever, because I know he's making money. He laughing at the people. Because it's now, he tried to tell him early on, I'm a baller. I'm going to come with you hard. I may not be your number one, but I'm going to give you everything I got. And when it come playoff time, you're going to want me on your team. I mean, he got Hero, man, playing out of his mind. And all them dudes with that attitude, he coming in, he went one, they had him one time during the practice. Hero tears him up. He comes in wearing Hero's high school jersey. I mean, I'm like, yo, man, that's who he is. Then he come in with Spoelstra's college jersey he had on. I mean, the dude is just like, it's that feel, man. This is a guy, if nothing else, is an all-pro. And he's including everybody else. So with that being said, man, how could you not want to play with a cat like that, man? I mean, I'm just saying, especially when you ain't won nothing. But it's going to, the one thing I'll just say, what I think is very important for me anyway, and I think it's going to be very key. We're going to end this in October, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they do what they say, we're going to turn back around. We're going to have basketball again right before the end of the year. So it's just real quick, which I think is amazing because now everybody's getting healthier, doing what they had to do. There's no long summer vacation type thing. and we right back at it, which I think going to find very interesting because I'm telling you, as I get off of this, the Denver Nuggets is like, I can't wait to get back in on that damn court. We cannot wait. Hopefully make a few changes, but I know they're going to be, especially if they get Barton back, they cannot wait to get back at another opportunity to do whatever. And last but not least, what's going to happen in Milwaukee? That's my question to y'all.
Yeah, because quiet as it's kept, you have the COVID tournament happening. Teams are in training camp right now. They're training right now. They're shooting up. Clay is Thompson is on the court practicing. All these teams are going on the camp, and they're coming to get ready for the season in December. I don't know if I watched too much of it because it's football season. Black, other NBA stories?
People aren't watching that much of it right now. I didn't watch none of the LA series, so that's nothing new. I think to me, the Greek Freak, what he's going to do is going to be real interesting. I just, I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's interesting because I would like to see him stay in Milwaukee, but I think if anything, he's got to, I don't think he's going to be able to do it in time with the season starting in December. He's got to better his game, bro. He's got to find a way to improve his game and just kind of really nail his game down and get some niche plays. And I don't think he's going to have time to do it, so it's going to be real interesting to see. But it's just outside of him, to me, the only thing that's out there is really Golden State. How are they going to come back? How are they going to kind of rebound? Are they able to pull in a big name player to play with them? To me, that's what I find to be kind of exciting. I don't know what's going to happen with Houston, man. I have no idea what's going on with them. I know the general manager is not going to lie down, but who knows what's going to happen. But there's a couple of things that are going to kind of surprise people. I also want to see, too, because he basically was around him when he was with Golden State, how Durant is going to mesh with the new head coach in Brooklyn. Because he spoke up for him. I think he played a part in actuality, the guy getting the job. So that's something going to be interesting to see because I think there's some type of connection there that they're going to be able to hit the ground running with Durant. I'm not sure about Irving, but Brooklyn's not that far off. Not saying win a championship, but they're not a bad team. So a little bit of tweaking. It'll be interesting to see how they take off and how they play.
I mean, Durant's been playing, hasn't been playing with the team that has been making runs for the last couple of years, and he's been hurt. And I'm wondering, and when he starts demanding the ball, how the other players in tight games, how the other players are going to respond. Are they going to kind of concede to him, or they're going to say, you know what, we've been doing this without you, so you don't have a right to ask for the ball, demand the ball. We can all play too. So I'm wondering how that's going to happen. The other thing, Black, with that is I'm wondering how people are going to respond to friends playing with each other, because that hasn't worked out in the NBA so far. And you get this coach, doesn't have too much experience in tight games and when you need to coach. I'm wondering how they're going to kind of pan out, Ice, with this Brooklyn Nets team with Kawhi and KD.
Well, that's going to be interesting. But I know I was watching something. I was watching that All the Smoke with Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson swear by Steve Nash. He says Steve Nash is a guy that understands the game. He's played it. He has a lot more intellect than most people think. But again, like you said, it just depends on whether or not he can get it done on the X's and O's. But I don't know. I mean, you mentioned about the other guys, like somebody like a Karis LeVert, whether or not he's going to pass the ball or whatever, like that, or Dinwiddie. But, Durant has a way of doing it. He'll show you what it is. I mean, you could say the same thing about when he went to the Warriors. I mean, they already had a lot of people. And, I think the wild card will be Kyrie, whether or not he's going to come to play, because he's always up and down. Maybe because he's playing with his guy, he'll come to play. But if he don't want to play, you just ask Boston. he'll sit down and just won't do anything. But I think that's what it is. But I think at least starting out with the team that they had and them coming back and them balling the way that they did, they come together with these superstars and kind of gel and mesh. I think they could do a little something if they want to. But again, chemistry is everything, bro.
Yeah.
No, I was saying, and Paul George was coming out after. What was funny, I found to be funny, was when the night they lost, Paul George was sitting in the locker room giving a rah-rah speech saying that they lack chemistry and they should all stick together and come back next year because they can win it next year. And they said a couple of players, man, wanted to grab him by his throat.
Did anybody ask him if he won anything? That would be my first question. How do you know? Have you won anything?
Thank you.
You ran out of Indiana. You ran out of OKC, and now you're there. And I don't know about Paul George, man. I lost my confidence in him a long time ago, and I think it was due to that injury. But I don't know how you gonna give a speech and you ain't show up for the playoffs. You ain't even show up.
I think the person that should be super angry, and I would love to hear him talk if he would open up and talk, is Kawhi Leonard, because you brought him there. You brought him there to do battle, and he let you down, bro. Let's be honest, Kawhi. Get to a microphone somewhere, and let's hear it, bro. Let loose. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the fans in Toronto. Why you left? You want to play with?
Why are you shaking your head, Ice?
I mean, because man, I don't know. I mean, I understand what's going on, but you would think that they at least go back another year. I mean, they just didn't play well. There was a lack of chemistry. It's like nobody knew their role. People were doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing. And I think that's what Doc Rivers should have rose to the occasion and been like that too. Plus, the other thing too is, I mean, as much as crazy as this bubble is, shit, you're going to be right back. You're going to be right back in December. If it goes well, you're going to be playing again. So, I mean, you turn around, it's October now. I'll be telling them, let's go. Okay, we lost. Everybody gonna clown us. LeBron won, if that's what y'all want to do, or Jimmy Butler. So let's get ready for the next one and let's start again. That would be my message if I was a coach or if I was one of them. I mean, you can suck and be whatever, but it ain't like you gotta wait 6-8 months. You get to go to Cancun or nothing. Can't do nothing, can't go nowhere. It's the same thing. Let's go back and play. That would be my message. But who knows, man.
What would be different? That's the question. I know if people hang their hat and they're just, to me, when I hear them say chemistry, I'm not saying there wasn't a problem with chemistry, and I agree. Doc Rivers really should have kind of stepped in and got things molded. I don't think he's capable of that, because it makes me start to think about when he was with Boston. Was it just the three that came together, that they rallied and they kind of motivated themselves to do what they had to do? Because he just seemed like he had no pulse of this team at all the whole entire season. None. He allowed them to do whatever they want to do. If they were taking bad shots, he rolled along with it. So I don't think if you bring him back again, I might have said this to you off the show on Puma, is that if you bring him back without making any changes in the lineup, what is going to be different? You have the same thing going on again. You know, I don't see if you got to shake them up a little bit somehow.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about his future, Doc Rivers' future. But Ice, what you about to say?
No, I was going to say that, I mean, I understand making changes somewhere with the team, but, and I'm not saying the Lakers did it perfectly, but you got to defend those guys, okay? The Joker was out there shooting open, uncontested shots versus the Clippers. So was Jamal Murray. He's not going to miss, man. If he does, they're going to kill you. And the lack of effort on defense oftentimes, not switching on picks and not communicating, it's no wonder they lost. And like I told you, the last game, when they got to the 9-minute mark to go, they quit because everything they tried didn't work. They could not answer the bell. The Lakers on the hand, like, okay, yeah, you running with us. But LeBron and other cats, Rondo was like, nah, bro, y'all ain't got enough. Y'all look good, and y'all ballers, y'all young. You got all of the pieces. You got big fella too, the veteran rolling with you, and even Grant. But they were like, nah, man, y'all can't have this one. You could tell they were like, nah, you can't have it. We take this ain't your year. And I love or hate the Lakers. I give them props for that. That's what I thought the Clippers was gonna do. You ain't got enough pieces, but they didn't. They folded. And I mean, you got to give it up to Denver what they did, coming back down 3-1 or whatever, 2 series, almost 3. But LeBron then was like, nah, bro. Now maybe next year, maybe in December, not right now. That says a lot. And I don't know where that came from, but they showed that dog. And you know, yeah, Anthony Davis ain't never won. He was like, I'm hungry, bro. I want to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, college football. I'm so glad that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 got into the rankings, because you got some of these teams that had no business in the top 25 out of the rankings, and now you have the SEC, and you have the Big Ten, you have the ACC, and other of the Big Five in the rankings. The only other teams that you got BYU, UCF. That's about it. But other than that, we took away all the Texas States and all the other teams that had no business in the top 25. But what games stood out to you, Black, when you look at college football? Did you watch any games, bro? Come on, man.
I'm gonna yield my time to Brother Ice because I'll be honest with you, bro. I forgot college football was back on this Saturday, man. I'm gonna have to get the group, but I totally forgot. I know that's sad to say, but it's the truth. There's been so much talk whether they're gonna play or not gonna play. This weekend I'll pay attention, but I really just forgot Saturday, man. I was doing some other things, and it's like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, they played today, so I'm sorry, man. I have no. I'm sorry.
Guess we gotta take it, Ice. 2 big upsets this week: Kansas State beating Oklahoma, and Mississippi State beating LSU. In the first games out of it, in these two big games. I don't even want to talk about Miami and Florida State because that wasn't a game at all. But what surprised you the most? LSU dropping because they did not look like LSU with Joe Burrow, or Kansas State and Oklahoma?
I'm gonna say Kansas State because Oklahoma is supposed to be reloading and always had this up. And K-State has a guy by the name of Deuce Vaughn, wide receiver. Man, he ready for Sundays, bro. He's a baller, and they were limited with players. I think they were hurt, had some injuries, but they played Oklahoma like it wasn't nobody's business. And I think it surprised a lot of people. I think they got them last year too. I think they beat Oklahoma as well. So Kansas State played real well. I was excited about that. That surprised me. LSU, I mean, you win one, and everybody wants to act like they about to run on a 9-year dynasty run. Nah, bro. You had your year. Burrow's gone. He's in Cincinnati. And Mississippi State was like, we're not afraid. Now, you said you want to. I'm going to just say this. I told you this before. I told you. Everybody's talking about all of the stuff about a head coach running his mouth saying, Black lives don't matter or whatever the hell he said. But that's the reason why they kept that man on the roster, on the stove. Only kept his job because he's like, all right, well, we're going to keep it rolling. And the way that they pop LSU may not be that good this year, but that's even on a bad year like it is now, that's one thing he can write down on his slate. He beat the defending champion. Granted, defending champion maybe lost a lot of players, which they did. Yeah, they did. But still, when you have Mississippi State, you can write that down like I came here, beat the defending champion, and I was going to build from that. But his team was ready. He had a quarterback, I think a transfer quarterback came up from out west somewhere that just came into the fold, kind of like Burrow did. And he set him up. The guy, after the game, the quarterback almost cried. He's crying because he's been saying, man, I've been struggling and trying so hard. And then they opened up the passing attack, the offense for him, and they took down number one top-notch LSU. So, yeah, that was the one that got to me. And the other game, too, was Florida, man. Florida might have a real team this year.
That's Florida what I hear. Yep.
They might have a real team. And Ole Miss gave them all that they wanted. That was a hell of a game. 51-35, a lot of points being scored. But I think Florida, they might actually be on to something this year.
Well, let's go through the top 10 instead of the top 25 or everything. Clemson holds on to the number 1 spot, followed by Alabama. Florida, you just mentioned. Georgia. Notre Dame is at number 5. Ohio State checks in at number 6. Auburn, Miami, University of Miami, Florida. They put a ass kicking to Florida State this weekend. They shouldn't even have that game in prime time, to be honest with you, because that was ridiculous. Followed by Texas. Texas, I don't think is as good as people think they are. I think they're ranked too high. And Penn State. So it should be interesting to see if Mississippi State can hold on to the momentum. I don't really think they're that good because I don't think LSU is that good. Watching them and how the defense, the offense, it looked like a totally different team than the team we saw last year. Who are you looking forward to see this week, Ice?
You got Texas A&M versus Bama, Alabama. So that's there, and the other one is going to be Auburn versus Georgia. Yeah, so those are just based on the names. We'll see what happens, but you want to see how good Alabama is because everybody, of course, you want to put them right there and like that. But I want to see Texas A&M versus Bama, and then of course Auburn versus Georgia.
Yeah, those should be some great games. There's some other games that I know I want to see. I want to see West Virginia and Baylor. I think that's going to be a good game. And there was another team that I wanted to see. I didn't pay attention to them, and they're not ranked in the top 25 right now, but Cincinnati and South Florida. I want to see that game. I'm interested in seeing what kind of team that Cincinnati has. They seem like they're trying to be for real, but I want to check that game out and pay some close attention. Also, you have another game in the ACC, Clemson and Virginia. We'll see if that is a barn burner. Black, you got to pick a game, man. Who you gonna watch this weekend? It's coming on this weekend, bro. Who you gonna watch?
I think that Texas A&M Alabama. I'll check it out. See what Texas A&M. That second might be a pretty good game.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the Major League Baseball report with Ice Water. The playoffs starts this week. The playoffs, and the Miami Marlins are in. Jeter's team is in the playoffs. It's 16 teams, but it's too many, but they're in. They played their way in.
Now I'm watching baseball. Let's go. All right. No, I mean, I'm glad that it's here, but some of it, I'm blown away. And let me be the first person to apologize, because I talk bad about them all day long since I've been on the show, and I'm going to give them some love now. The Cincinnati Reds made the postseason. Took 16 teams to do it. The Cincinnati Reds made the postseason. So happy for them. Rah, rah, rah. And they have a series that they might actually be able to make a little noise. They're playing Atlanta. Atlanta is very good talent-wise, but Cincinnati is playing with a lot of heart, and they've been hot lately. So that wild card is going to be interesting. You got in American League, Tampa, Toronto, Oakland, and Chicago. White Sox are in the playoffs, baby. Give them some love.
Minnesota. Everybody's in the playoffs.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Everybody
in, yeah. Minnesota, you want one? I'll take one. Minnesota, Houston, Cleveland versus the Yankees. That's a series I'm going to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be interesting. LA, the Dodgers versus Milwaukee, Atlanta versus Cincinnati, I mentioned. Cubs and Miami, San Diego, St. Louis. Should be interesting. I will watch postseason baseball. Just because I think Tampa's they're gonna win tonight in the hockey, and they're gonna win baseball. I told you Tampa all the way around, and Tom Brady gonna win the Super Bowl. Tampa, it's that kind of year. It's that kind of year. Too bad they can't play in the NBA playoffs. They have a team, they might win that too. Tampa all the way around, baby. But yeah,
playing in Florida, so it counts.
I'm interested just to see what happens. I am gonna pay attention more to postseason now, because I think the players are gonna try to play. And hopefully they'll get it right and put their butts in the bubble like they should have been in the first place. Anyway, I'm just saying.
All right, Black, the WNBA, man.
Season's really winding down, man. They had two teams, actually four teams in the conference finals when we did the show last week. Well, we're down to basically two at this point. Seattle put away the Minnesota Lynx. They moved on to the finals. Breonna Stewart, remember that name? Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago, MVP. She was out last year due to injury, but she's come back and she's putting work in. She helped the Seattle Storm put the Lynx away. Connecticut Sun and the Las Vegas Aces are tied 2-2. That's going to be a tough game. The final game is coming real soon. That's going to be a tough one to see who's going to pull away with that one and take that one. But Candace Parker, and I'll talk about Maya more, but I can't forget about Mrs. Parker. Candace Parker picked up Defensive Player of the Year. And interesting to see if she's going to be coming back next year, because it seems like from time to time, there's so many other options for her to go on and do something else. So I'm wondering at this point, she's going to walk away and just do something different, or she's going to come back and play another season. She's being quiet about it, but I'm sure in the off season, there's going to be many options for her to kind of leave and stop playing. So hopefully we'll have the winner from the Aces and the Suns, and that's going to be a pretty good series, whoever go on to play the Seattle Storm.
Okay. Pacquiao and McGregor. I think it's the ink is going to dry, and they're going to be fighting in boxing. What do you think about this, man?
I mean, it's hard to take it seriously. I mean, Pacquiao's kind of following up on what Floyd did, and people will watch because it's the money thing. It will be a money run for Pacquiao, because they're talking about having it in the Middle East, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are going to say, "Ooh, I'll give a chance to see him live." And McGregor right now, because he's all over the place and not really fighting in the UFC, he's trying to make another cash run, and you could do that with Manny Pacquiao in the Middle East. So I'm not really super excited, because it seems like more of an exhibition to me. And maybe he says Conor McGregor is going to improve on his boxing skills. But let's be real. He'll probably do what Floyd did to McGregor. You get him past the 6th round, and then you take him out in deep water and you drown him. Got into the 10th round, he started doing this, started dropping his hands.
Yeah.
And then he fall down. So that's what you do. Because he's only used to going 5 rounds, whatever.
Yeah.
Playing to the deep waters, 10th round, knockout. And he said, I was really in the fight. I'm not hurt. With that round loud, I'm not hurt. You know, that type of thing. So it'll be a nice little exhibition. But I'm hoping that we get back to some normalcy. We get some better boxing matches.
Black, I know you don't watch the little guys, man. Any thoughts about this fight?
When I'm listening to Ice talk, I could have swore I saw a headline about a week ago that who's he fighting again? Pacquiao fighting again?
McGregor, Conor McGregor.
Yes, Conor McGregor was brought up on sexual charges or being investigated for sexual charges somewhere, bro. Yeah. So this fight may not even happen, but I know one thing. They're gonna be bringing Pacquiao in his 50s fighting, bro. The Pacquiao is going to say, I can still fight. And Conor McGregor, for whatever reason, is a showman. So it's good, like he said, a good exhibition. Will I pay attention to it? Maybe not.
All right. The Charlo brothers won both of their fights this Saturday. Ice, what are your thoughts about them? I know I have some thoughts about. I can't tell them apart, but the second fight was.
Well, Jamal Charlo fought Devin Checo, who's Jamal's the oldest, and he fights middleweight. He fought first. And Devin Checo is a tough guy. I mean, he gave Triple G. A lot of people think he beat Triple G. And he fought, I'm trying to think of the other guy before, Daniel Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jacobs, he gave him a run. And he came in with Charlo. Jamal Charlo showed a lot of maturity because he wasn't came out crazy. He was getting hit, but he showed some veteran ringmanship. And he got the job done. So I was impressed by that win. I think it catapults him up to that next level. Even though they won't really look at him, I think he did enough to kind of say, I'm ready for a big fight. You know, if that's Triple G, or is that Canelo?
Yeah.
On the other end, you had Jamel, which is the younger guy who fought Rosario, and Rosario looked really shaky from the beginning. He hit him with a punch. You're like, did you just like graze his head? Then he fell down. So it's one of those things you just kind of wonder. But hey, it is what it is. He got the victory. And I think both of them now on pay-per-view have shown you that they're worthwhile to be considered. And now you have some guys that want to fight. The younger Charlo, guy like Erickson Lubin wants to get that fight. A lot of names out there. So I say give them a shot, man. They proved you. They took on 2 so-called quality opponents. And I think they earn it right now to get a shot at the big time. And if they win, they win. If they don't, at least they're worthy of a shot right now at the big time. Here's
my criticism of the younger Charlo brother is that when he gets in the ring, sometimes I feel like he's not taking care of business like he should. He has the ability and the skills to, but his older brother takes care of business when he gets in the ring. It's no nonsense with him. He'll take care of business. But the younger one seems like sometimes he could just kind of floating around and almost let the other fighter get into his groove or not really kind of take out the younger fighter. It's almost like he's trying to work out something in the ring when he's fighting these fighters. And that's not the time to be working out some stuff in the ring. You have an opponent there, they can have a knockout punch and they can just knock you flat. But is my criticism off about him? He just seemed like he's not focused in the ring because he did have one loss. And when he was lackadaisical, that fighter got him. He finally got him back, but that fighter got him.
Yeah, no, I mean, you kind of wonder about his preparation because he lost to Tony Harrison, and Tony Harrison, tough fighter out of Detroit. He had to really, Jamel had to really come in and really get refocused. The same thing with Rosario, kind of like he pushed him around. But again, as I said before, that Jamel might have a problem with a really solid boxer with power. Yeah. Somebody that really can box, move around, watch angles and stuff like that too. He may have some problems with them. But, we'll see how it plays out. But as ugly as it was, he got the job done, and then we move on. Because a lot of people thought Rosario, because of what he did to Julian Williams, that he was going to come out and do the same thing to him. So, but he got the job done. So it wasn't pretty. We know a lot of those things. And Sean Porter's fight, the last fight, wasn't pretty either. That's why they need to quit messing around and put these marquee fights back on the map.
Yeah.
Put some controlled crowds in, whatever you want to do, pay the men their money and let them fight because we need to see some real fights coming up.
Tyson Jones. All right, real quick on hockey, man. Because you're the only one going to talk about hockey. I don't know if Blackman been keeping up with hockey, but
yeah, 3-2 is the I think the series right now. Tampa Bay is leading. Tampa Bay is leading a game 6-2-0 over the Stars. And one thing I'll tell you this very quickly about Tampa Bay, they were like one of the top seeds last year. And I live in Columbus, Ohio. They played the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Columbus Blue Jackets just manhandled them. They beat them down. They were more physical with them, and they swept them actually. And now what Tampa Bay came back this year was like, okay, we're a little soft last year. Let's get us some goons, and no pun intended. But then we got them some goons, and they came back and they became more stronger, and that's what you're seeing this year. So it's kind of like a redemption year for Tampa if they can hold on to this league and win the Stanley Cup.
All right, Black, questions?
Is it just me, man, but does it seem like that Roy Jones Jr. is trying to find ways not to fight Mike Tyson?
Ice, I'm going to let you take that one because I thought he was all in on it.
Yeah, he was, but then he started saying he might have made a mistake. And I don't blame you because, I mean, you look at Mike. Mike he heard his trainer. He got like, Mike, Mike, come on, Mike. So, yeah, and I said it before. Mike does not know. I can't say, I don't know if he does, but I think, my opinion, Mike, as we said before, Mike doesn't have but one speed. He don't know what exhibition. You say, oh, yeah, we good. You're like, damn, Mike. Because they said something about perhaps he could do a little exhibition sparring match with Anthony Joshua. And I was like, what? You sure? And I was like, you sure you want to get in with this man? Because dude, he is who he is. Oh, we just going to be sparring a little bit. He can't spar.
You throwing your hands up.
He can't spar. Real nice, I'm not gonna touch you. Just have a move. We're gonna both move.
I'm coming with the right.
Dude, I'm like, this ain't the Salvation Army. This ain't the Salvation Army. He gonna try to kill you. Dude, what are you doing? I don't know why they keep acting like this man is capable of putting boxing gloves on and going, okay, now you move over here and I'll punch over there. Then you go over here and I'll punch over there. Come on, man. No, he got one speed, bro. He got one speed. And just be honest about it. So that's why Roy Jones is kind of like, yo, man, I don't know. And Roy don't look like he in shape either. Y'all look at the video. Roy is not. Mike is like, I've been smoking weed, whatever he doing, allegedly. He getting himself together, drinking them herbal teas and shit. He getting ready. And green teas, all of that, medicinal purposes. And Roy look like, yo, man, hey, man, I'm going to do it because I'm going to do it for the money. But Roy don't look like he in great shape. So a couple little hits to the stomach, man, Roy going to drop to a knee. So it could be quick. It could be very quick.
Mark, it's interesting you brought this up because one of my boys from Detroit, he has people in Pensacola. And he used to have a cousin that was in the fight game too. As a matter of fact, I saw his cousin fight here in Chicago, one of his bouts. And he fought out of the Roy Jones camp. And I think his cousin and some other folks kind of pulled his coattail and said, I think Roy in trouble. He's out there drinking, smoking, partying. He ain't taking it seriously. He said, I think Roy's in trouble. But I saw Roy Jones on Instagram just talking junk about, he going to bring in and might come this, that, the other. He said, yeah, he may be trying to sell some tickets, but Roy Jones is in trouble right now, and they're worried about him, bro. So what's your thoughts?
I'm thinking that this fight ain't gonna happen, bro. I just got a funny feeling. If it does, they might be waiting for Roy to step in the ring. He may not show up, bro. I think he's having second, third, and fourth thoughts. You don't want that. You don't want it. It sounds good when they brought it to him. I'm sure they're after a hefty amount of money. But it seems like to me he's trying to find a way to get out of this, man. He just haven't figured it out yet, but I don't think he wants to step in that ring.
I just got to say, if you thought the Michael Spinks fight was quick,
He might do what old boy did just after they announced him and they don't even hit the bell. He just walk right out, walk back up the ramp, go back to the locker room because this gonna be bad. But they got an undercard. He gotta go through it. He gotta go through it. This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be funny. But when he told me that last week. He said, "Man, Roy's in trouble. He's in trouble. He ain't taking it seriously. He ain't training the way he's supposed to. He's eating and doing all kind of stuff. And I mean, like it's not even happening. So we'll see. Ice, your question.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see here. Do you think that we right now end up, because we've been watching NBA basketball and some other things, but do you think that the press and particularly fans are quick to kind of promote the younger athletes to whatever's called GOAT status or like these superstar status before you let them develop in a couple years or two? And I'll throw Luka Doncic as one of the examples.
Black?
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, the word great to me, I think people have just took good out of their vocabulary when it comes to announcers. Specifically Mark Jackson. Everybody's great. He's great. He's great. He's great. And it doesn't have the same appeal anymore. And you can have one good season now in the NBA, and it's like you're a superstar, you're everything. It's like the stat sheet of years doesn't matter anymore. When I looked at when Westbrook was winning MVP, they treated Westbrook like there was never no Oscar Robertson. It's in the moment. It's in the moment. And maybe because we grew up knowing of these other players and we know what they did, we feel a little different. But now it's like a microwave, man. No matter what you put together fast and quick, that's all that matters. So yeah, the word great is out there. And you haven't accomplished nothing yet. A lot of players haven't accomplished nothing. Maybe a good series, maybe a good night, but they make you out to be much better or stronger than what you are.
Yeah, I think it's used to sensationalize like these broadcasts, the sports games that they're having, to get people to kind of buy into it, get people excited about the newer generation of players, and it's tossed around too easily. I totally agree. It's just tossed around too easily. Let them kind of do something in their career. I can appreciate when they say, "Hey, LeBron has made it to 10 finals." I mean, it's hard to make the finals. It's really hard to make the finals. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, you want to call him a great player. Yeah, if you can make 10 finals, yeah. Take a team like different teams he had to the finals, that's great. What are these other players that they're trying to put as great as he is? What have they done? If they haven't really done anything, like a James Harden or some of the other players that they're saying, oh, he's the greatest one-on-one player, this, that, the other. Nah, you got to do something. You got to win some championships. You got to go to championships, first of all. And so I think it's slung around just to get people excited and get people kind of thirsty to see these players. But your opinion, Ice?
Yeah, I mean, I'm too old school. I mean, you got to earn it in one season or 7 games, Jeremy Lin. Anyway, it doesn't make you allegedly. But so yeah, I mean, like I love watching the young guys compete. I mean, you can't say anything about Jamal Murray, who really for Denver really showed you a lot, but we need to see a longer version of that. Is he going to continue to get better? I tell you, I was one of the most excited people in the bubble to watch Jamal Murray versus Donovan Mitchell for Utah. That was a hell of a series. 2 guys going for 50, going back and forth, matching one another, and just seeing them go at each other. But to sit up here and make them legendary already, I think one does a disservice to the history and the legacy of a lot of great players that before them, and then a lot of guys that just didn't get any love. I mean, so let's let them accumulate a little bit more experience and some accolades or some accomplishments under their belt before we just deem them, as you said, you want a crowning? Crowning? Instead you want to do all that. Let's let them develop a little bit more and gain a little bit more accolades before we make them kings.
Okay. Well, fellas, before we go to our last second shot, I was sitting here peeking at the game. We might have picked the wrong team tonight. Because Kansas City is going off on Baltimore. I mean, they're making Baltimore look like they ain't ready. But
no, they're not. They're not ready.
They're not,
They're
oh,
not
man.
ready.
They're making them look like they're just not ready. It's like we're
Wow.
Super Bowl champs. We're at this level. We're still here, baby boy. So
It's sending a message tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hold that. You're you're playing against grown men. All right. Last second shot, Black.
Ooh, my second shot. Ooh, I was gonna have turn into a question, but I'll do this a shot. I think that we have to start really paying attention to who is giving information when it comes to sports, and not follow the frivolous stuff, but make sure the person that we're speaking to or listening to knows what they're saying, have a history, and just not basically rambling on and being loud. That's it for me, bro.
Yeah, I agree. Ice?
Yeah, I think it's time to start looking at some people and giving them their flowers instead of waiting to the last minute in sports. And particularly, I'm talking about individuals who do great things. And like we had 2 fights over the weekend with the Charlo brothers, and we had one African American gentleman, young man, the referee Harvey Dock, who had on another one of our shows, and we're gonna try to get him on here too. He was able to do both fights. He did both of the fights. He was the main guy in there. This guy has handled 231 fights as a professional referee, and he has some other folks with him too. And I put up some information up on Facebook just to kind of recognize that guy, because guys like that just kind of go unnoticed. You know what I'm saying? And we need to just recognize them for what they're doing, because it's easy to watch the fight, like, okay, who's the referee? But guys like him, let's give them their love, man, and not wait to the last minute.
Give out the shout out to the show you did, and also your website on some the reality of sports.
Yeah, so it's www.realityofsports.com. Again, the realityofsports.com. And we have a boxing show, as we'll call Real Boxing Talk. And we do that, but also on the Reality of Sports, you can find primarily all of the video shows, maybe a couple of them from the Goon Squad as well. So, I mean, you can get it either on YouTube, but you also can go directly there, and all you do is one click. Not taking away from the Goon Squad, I got nothing but love. But if you just want one click and open up what you want to see the fabulous Black Thor and and the immaculate Puma, then it's right there for you, baby. So www.realityofsports.com.
All right. My last second shot is, and I texted you this earlier, both of you, $750. Let that sink in. $750. That's our show. Catch us on Wednesday where we do our NFL picks, and some of us aren't looking that well, including me, but Pop seemed to be shining a little bit. So I just saw on the phone that he called, so I got to call him back at the end of the tape of the show. Maybe to brag or whatever. I don't know. But we will see you next week. Take care.